The 12 days of Veve are upon us. They are going strong, but unfortunately those 12 days are running out, and like all good things, this too must come to an end eventually. And what this video will be about is what to do in order to prepare for when this is over. Because this euphoria, these drops every day, these low prices on some collectibles, it will not last forever. How can we capitalize to make the most out of this opportunity? I'll be using historical data as well as some of my personal experience as well as the experience of others in order to shed some light, shed some insight onto what we can do with this opportunity and to be as prepared as possible. If you've been keeping up with the market, you have probably noticed that we are currently in what us VVers call a gem squeeze. Gem squeezes usually occur when there are a lot of drops back to back in a short period of time, or when there are blue chip drops, very sought after drops. And the reason for a gem squeeze is that people need to sell in order to keep up with the frequency of drops, or they're trying to sell in preparation to get that blue chip that they want, or like I said, it could be a combination of those. And currently we are in a gem squeeze because we are in the 12 days of Veve with drops coming every day and new announcements coming every day. And we have seen some of the premier collectibles land on this app, such as Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie, and Coca-Cola, and we have more on the way. But like I said at the beginning, all good things must come to an end. We will not be having these drops every day or this level of drops every day, or at least at the frequency that we've been seeing. So I've been on the Veve app since March, and I know that if I could do it over again, I would definitely change my strategy a lot. I think I did an okay job with the info that I had at the time and just lack of experience, but of course hindsight is always 20/20. But I'll be telling you guys what I wish I would have been doing during the previous gem squeezes that I've been a part of. So I have always been a buy and hold type of guy, and I've always been so nervous that this app is gonna blow up one day. I'll wake up, check my phone, and all the prices will be through the roof and nothing will ever be affordable again. And I don't think something that drastic would happen overnight, but I do think that once we are fully integrated on Immutable X, I do think having Ethereum whales and other crypto whales having the ability to scoop up collectibles with tons of Ethereum that they have, or tons of Omi, whatever, I think we could see something similar to what I was scared of a few months ago. But the reason I told you guys that was because I was always so scared to sell. I did not want my collectibles to take off after I sold them. And the times I did try to sell, I usually ended up not doing the best in the moment, or I usually could have sold it for more if I would have hung on just a little bit longer. So I get really nervous. But guys, let me tell you, flipping and selling, of course not financial advice, in my opinion is the way to go. And with the direction that the app is going and how many drops we're seeing, the variety that we're seeing, no normal person who does not have an endless bank account can keep up with these drops. We're gonna have to be selective. We're gonna have to pick and choose. Back in March, April, May, I was just buying everything, holding everything. That is not possible anymore. So we need to flip to sustain our gem balances, to sustain these drops that are coming out, and to get the blue chips that we want. I think the best way to illustrate my point is to pull up some graphs, pull up some data, and I can show you guys at similar points in Veve history what happened and what you can do to capitalize. So here we're looking at the price history of a few kind of random collectibles that I chose. I tried to choose a variety of older ones, newer ones, different types of genres, etc. And this chart is provided by Cherry Charts. Big shout out to Cherry Charts. These tools are very helpful and I love using them when I'm trying to look at market activity. So here we see the light blue is Jim Lee Joker. The purplish blue is Marceline, green Big Barda, yellow Ritmo, red Backstab and Smork and Labbit, and the lighter, there's a lot of blue, the blue at the top is Spider-Man Ultimate Animated. And so basically I chose these because I wanted to show you guys that no matter what type of collectible it is, or the rarity, whatever the attributes, the trends more or less stay the same, with some exceptions of course. It's not a monolith. The market doesn't just all go together. So I just want to show you guys some overall trends. So first of all, the first thing that we see, the first gem squeeze that is recorded on this graph, and the most significant one that I could think of, was during August. And that was of course the start of Marvel month. And that was when Spider-Man Ultimate Animated, or the first Spider-Man NFT, came out. And so what happened was the entire month of August was occupied by Marvel drops. happening fairly consistently. And it was our first time seeing comics dropping. We saw those 2 days a week. That was new. Just ton of drops. And if you remember at the beginning of the video, I said one of the factors, one of the catalysts of a gem squeeze is frequency of drops. And we definitely saw that during Marvel month. Along with, of course, being Marvel, there are going to be a lot of blue chip type drops in there. And so what we see is that during the entire month of August, prices for pretty much everything are steadily declining. Even the Ultimate Animated Spider-Man, he was sitting around here about 1,500 gems, if you can believe it. Now we're up here to about 23,000 gems. So, man, I actually wanted to pick this one up at around this price, but I didn't. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't hurt. It hurts a little bit. It hurts a lot. So during August, we see just steady declines. But then what happens in September? Shoot up, shoot up, shoot up, shoot up. Everything shoots up, especially Spider-Man. And so what you'll see, a recurring theme, is that once we have declines, we have a nice, great big incline. And I'll show you guys more examples, but keep that in mind. The next gem squeeze we saw, it wasn't as drastic as Marvel in my opinion, but this was around the time of New York Comic Con, and with a bunch of James Bond drops happening multiple times throughout the week. And this was around the start of October. After August ends, we see a big increase like I just mentioned, but then right at the turn of the month from September to October, we see a lot of these take a pretty steep decrease. And again, frequency of drops, we saw the first ever movie ticket poster. I'm not sure if that really contributed that much to a gem squeeze, but we saw some big time drops, lots of first appearances, first editions of James Bond type stuff, and just tons of stuff coming out, along with, of course, New York Comic Con. Boom, all the ingredients for a gem squeeze. So that's what we see here. And then either decline or kind of leveling out. What do you know? Next gem squeeze, we got Disney, and this happens around early to mid-November. Here we see again, all around this area, pretty significant decreases. But then what do you see afterwards? We see prices shoot back up again. The most drastic example of all these trends is the Spider-Man Secret Rare. And this is, of course, of the ones I've selected. This is a relatively small sample size. Again, this is just for reference. I try to choose a good variety of collectibles, give you an idea, not just pinpoint one and use that as an indicator for the whole market. And what did we see during the Disney Golden Moments collection? We saw a drop every day for a week, and we saw the first appearance of some of the most famous, popular superheroes, characters of all time. Perfect ingredients for a gem squeeze. You guys are starting to pick it up now. And then again, sharp price increase, especially with Big Barda. A little bit surprising that she's the green one right here. I'm not sure what happened here exactly, but she saw a steep increase after the Disney gem squeeze. And then that takes us to present day. And are you guys noticing a little trend at the end of this graph over here? Basically everything is on the way down. Spider-Man even was for a little bit, but it's showing a slight uptick. The 12 days of Veve are almost over. And can you guys expect what's going to happen if we extend this graph, if we could somehow go into the future, get in our DeLorean, and go to the future and see what this graph would look like in a few weeks, in a few months? I think based off personal experience, based off historical data, I think it's safe to say that these will likely go up. Maybe not every single one, but I think they will go up even higher than they've been before. And that is not even considering the fact that in a few months, maybe even less, we will be past phase 3 of the Immutable X migration. We'll have interoperability, we'll have the ability to buy with Omi, with ETH hopefully. Maybe by then we're even cashing out, bringing in more people, and making Veve look like a more legit project with a fully closed ecosystem. So hopefully this graph was able to give you guys a better visual representation and more history into the Veve market and its trends, because I know I fall into it too. I'm not the best trader, I'm not the best flipper, but I'm unfortunately sometimes an emotional investor, and I get attached to collectibles, or I think that because I'm holding it, it has more value, or that if I sell it, I'll never be able to get it back. And that leads me to not make the best decisions to scale up my collection, to have the best collection I could, or capitalize on opportunities. And that's something that I really want to talk about. Something that I got right this time that I never planned for before, that I never prepared for, was having gems ready at all times. For the first time, I anticipated this gem squeeze happening, and I sold some of my collectibles that I didn't think were at risk of shooting up or that I didn't think were that cool in the first place, or that I'm not that attached to, whatever. I saved up some gems, and throughout the week, I've been able to capitalize on some cheap prices as they pop up. I mean, let me tell you, normally I roll around the market with pretty much no gems, and I'm just looking kind of just for fun, just window shopping, if that's the term. But man, I feel so powerful when I am browsing the market looking, I could buy that, I could buy that, I could buy that. And if I see a low mint pop up for the floor price, I don't have to worry about loading up gems and it getting taken in the meantime. I can just immediately buy it and then flip it for more. And having that liquidity is so important, and I've had that liquidity for this gem squeeze. But I do have a warning for you guys. Don't think that every single thing will go up no matter what. A trend that I have noticed, and I actually got this idea from talking to Chad from NFT Pirates, is that as the market gets more and more saturated, the best of the best are what's going to stand out, and everything else will get buried, could potentially be forgotten about, or just won't see the price increases that we're hoping for. So my main takeaway from this gem squeeze, and my main advice to you guys, is to use this opportunity. If you have the gems, if you're able to sell some, again, never financial advice, but if you have the gems ready, or if you can accumulate some gems, now is the time to target the blue chips, because those will not go anywhere, and there is little chance that they don't shoot back up once people come back to their senses, and once they don't feel the need to be selling everything to keep up with the drops. This is the best opportunity to get the blue chips that you want, not only before prices go back up, but before we are unimmutable and before the whales can snatch them up, hold them tight, and never let them go. Because for a lot of these whales, they're not doing it for the money, they're not doing it for the flipping, they're doing it for the status, for the passion of collecting, whatever it might be. So when these whales pick it up, they don't need to make the extra 1,000, the extra 50K, or whatever they might make on a collectible. They're doing it for themselves. And once they buy them, a lot of the times, they will never see the light of day again. So this knowledge is my Christmas gift to you guys. I hope you appreciate it. Hope you gained something of value. As always, this has been NFT Flenny. I'll see you guys next time. If you guys are enjoying the content, if you appreciate the research, appreciate the insight, I would really appreciate dropping a like, comment, subscription, any combo, maybe all three. It would really help my channel grow, and we can spread this video to more people in the Veve community.